morning. We've got a presentation today about cybersecurity. I'm Julie Fred. I'm going to start and talk a little bit about your legal duties under Indiana law. Then we've got Tom Greer with TRG Web Designs. He's going to talk about why hackers may be interested in your website. We have Jay Allen with Techno Advantage. He's going to talk about some of the products that can help prevent a hack. And Brian Culp with Mortgage Insurance Group, and he's going to speak about insurance policies that can help you recoup your damages. So let's get started here. This is a little bit of examples of some large settlements. We've got Target, $28.5 million, Home Depot, $19.5 million, Sony, $15 million. The thing I'll point out here is these are all settlements. None of these are actual court-awarded damages. That's because no one wants to take these cases to trial. There's no precedent. Courts and attorneys prefer a precedent in a case so they know what kind of decision they may be facing in the future. Without any legal precedent, we're seeing a lot of settlements in this area. So those are all large businesses, but what about small businesses? 55% of small businesses have experienced a data breach, and 53% of small businesses have reported multiple invasions. So we're going to go over Indiana law for a little bit, and this is your legal duty under Indiana law. I'm actually jump over to this side so I can see the laptop. So breach of a security system under Indiana law is defined as unauthorized acquisition of computerized data that compromises the security, confidentiality, or integrity of personal information maintained by a person. And your definition of personal information is a social security number that is not encrypted or redacted, or an individual's first and last names, or first initial and last name, and one or more of the following: a driver's license number, a state ID card, credit card number, or financial account or debit card number in combination with a security code, password, or access code that would permit access to the personal account. So disclosure of a breach. After discovering or notification of a breach, the database owner shall disclose the breach to any Indiana resident whose unencrypted information was or may have been acquired by an unauthorized person. Encrypted information was or may have been acquired by an unauthorized person with access to the encryption key. And a database owner required to make a disclosure to over 1,000 consumers shall also disclose to the consumer reporting agencies any information necessary to assist the consumer reporting agency in preventing fraud. Delay of disclosure or notification. A person is required to make a disclosure. She'll do so without unreasonable delay. This is your instances of when delay is reasonable. If it's necessary to restore the integrity of the computer system, is necessary to discover the scope of the breach, or is in response to a request from an attorney general or law enforcement agency. And the person required to make a disclosure should do so as soon as possible. Your method of disclosure shall be by mail, telephone, fax, or email. However, if it's to over 500,000 residents or the cost is over $250,000, then the disclosure may be by posting on the database owner's website and notice to major news reporting agencies in the geographic area where the breach victims reside. Failure to disclose is a deceptive act. A person required to make a disclosure who fails to comply commits a deceptive act that is actionable by the Attorney General. And the Attorney General may bring an action to obtain any of the following: an injunction to enjoin future violations, such as means a court order to prevent you from having that happen again, a civil penalty of not more than $150 per deceptive act, and the Attorney General's cost in the investigation and maintaining of the action. So who is exempt? And while this applies to all businesses that operate in Indiana, it does not apply to the state government or the state agencies, so they could release information under the legal repercussions. What does this mean for your business? If you maintain personal information and suffer a breach, you must notify customers without unreasonable delay, and your ignorance concerning a breach is not an offense. So Indiana law is worded to say if you know, should know, or should have known that the breach may result in identity deception. And an example of this is the Marriott breach. They had a breach that went undetected for 3 years, and they now have a huge ongoing class action lawsuit as a result of that. Negligence. So this is the trial attorney's favorite word, one of their favorite words. Failure to use reasonable care in doing something which results in damage to others. This is what you want to avoid is any claims of negligence in the operation of your business and how you're responding to any security breach. And how to avoid a lawsuit. So you want some business policies and procedures in place. You want a policy in place on how to avoid a breach in the first place, as well as a policy in place on what you should do should a breach occur. This should be a written policy, and employees should be trained on the policy. So if you were to be the subject of a lawsuit over a data breach, if you have employees that can go in and testify, we had a policy, we follow the policy, we have training on the policy, that's going to greatly increase your chances of lessening your damages or no damage at all. Cybercrime. So we're going to switch gears for a little bit and talk about some criminal investigations. I was a prosecutor for 7 years. For 2 of those years, I worked at one of the IPD districts directly with the detectives on their investigations and then filed the resulting cases. So this is my personal experience in this area. Police and prosecutors can subpoena phone and computer data for use in their investigations. So we would do this in instances where we want to corroborate somebody's story. So if we had, he said, she said type situation, and somebody said, well, I responded because he sent me threatening text messages. We could subpoena those phone records and see who's telling us the truth. A search warrant can include home and all electronic devices. So when we word a search warrant, it has to be very specific as to the address to be searched, because you don't want the police showing up to the wrong house. That's a big no-no. It also has to be specific as to the items to be searched inside and what you're trying to find. So if you're trying to find something very large, you can't be looking through a small drawer under the search warrant. If we're trying to find electronic devices, we would need to name as specifically as we could: Dell laptop, iPad, whatever it is that they're wanting to get information from. The police can also obtain a search warrant for an IP address and find all the electronic devices connected to that IP address. So if they know threats are coming from a certain IP address, they can give a search warrant for that IP address and then find the different electronic devices that could be sent. Danger for undercover officers with frequent location settings. So on your iPhones, I can't guarantee this for droids, but you have something called frequent location settings. Do any of you guys know if droids have that too?
I don't think so.
Okay. And that will show where you go on a daily basis. So we had undercover officers, and this was a big deal for them. They always had to make sure this was turned off, because if they leave their phone down and they're in a drug house working undercover, somebody picks that up, they could find that, pick it up, go to frequent locations, see they go to the police station every day, see where their home address is, follow them home. They then know they're an undercover officer. So that's dangerous for anybody, especially for our undercover officers. What if an officer steals a cell phone? There's a case law now that the information on a cell phone is separate from physical custody of the phone. So just because they have a probable cause to take the phone itself, they don't have that as to the contents of the phone. They would need a search warrant to search the contents of the phone. You may have heard of a search incident to arrest. If someone's arrested, they can search their person and find the cell phone, but they cannot search the contents of the phone. U.S. jurisdictional powers. This is a problem that we had. A domain name registered outside of the U.S. does not have to honor U.S. law. So when we're dealing with the World Wide Web, it can be registered in other places in the world. Anon.id.co. CO is registered in the country of Colombia, and they will not honor a U.S. takedown order. So if a photo gets posted, child pornography or whatever it may be, they will not take that down. Once it's up, we can do nothing about it. Dangers of social media. So I used to go speak to children in schools about cyber safety and what they should and shouldn't do. So I'm just going to briefly present that as an adult version. Do not post your address, school, or church name or photos of your home. If people can find you, you don't want people to be able to find you. And you may be thinking, I know everyone that I'm friends with on Facebook or whatever it happens to be, whatever social media. But you never know who else could be looking at their account. So your friend John Smith may have a nephew with a past conviction for burglary, and you can pick up his uncle's phone and look through there. So you never know who else could be looking at these accounts. Don't list your family members, and don't post when you're going on vacation. I know it's really tempting when you're on vacation to post those great vacation photos, but wait till you get home. We really did see a lot of cases that happen because people are posting when they're away from their phone, and other people know they can go away and break and take their stuff. Don't post photos of expensive belongings. Especially teenagers, they want to post, oh look, I just got this cool new gaming system for Christmas or whatever it is, and then it's gone within a week. Oversee your children's social media accounts. Make sure they're not talking to people they shouldn't be. And keep an eye out for elderly family members who are likely to be a victim of scams. It's more common than you would think. I've seen it as both a prosecutor and a private attorney. It's usually an elderly person whose spouse has died, has passed away. They're lonely and they fall for these scams. They send their entire life savings overseas to Nigeria, Jamaica, where I've seen it in all of different countries. So it really is a problem out there, and it's really sad to see. So that's my last tip. Any questions?
Yeah, several media. Is there really like a problem with Pinterest, or I can see like Facebook?
Pinterest, I
Those
would
don't even know
say.
what they are.
I don't think there's such a problem with
Okay.
Pinterest. It just happens to be on the
Okay.
gotcha.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I think
We
they're
have
pretty
all
safe
those
there. I
accounts.
mean, you do have your picture up. Some people have their picture up on their Pinterest profile. So I think that would be about the only thing.
And like children's social media, all my children are kind of older, so minor for all of them. And I really don't know. I used to be really worried when they were small about who they were talking to, but I know they talk to people that they don't technically know.
They don't know.
Maybe they play on Xbox with people. Like I was talking to my daughter the other day. My son plays with a guy that lives in New York, but it's his friend from school's cousin.
Yeah.
But you know, so it's not like it's somebody he's met. It is somebody he's never met.
Yeah.
But you know, they get in these groups.
So she talked to him all the time online, but never met him face to face. So one day he contacts her and says, hey, give me your address. I'm going to stop by your house after school. We'll hang out. So she gives him her address. Then she realizes, you know, I don't really know who this person is. That's not a good idea. So she called her parents, told them. Parents called the police. Police come out. They're kind of scoping out the house, you know. They see a 50-year-old man walking down the road towards the house. He notices police, turns around, goes back to his car. So they're thinking, well, that's pretty suspicious. They go up, confront him. He's acting real nervous. Furtive movements is the term we use in law enforcement. Real nervous, putting his hands in his pockets, you know, looking around. So at that point, they decide to place him under arrest. They search his car and they find zip ties and blindfold. He was there to kidnap her. He had created that fake profile because he was able to friend her on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all those, and he was able to see the hoodie she wore had her school name on it. So he got online, looked up her school, found out the names of the teachers. A lot of schools post that, right? And he was able to, you know, basically create a whole fake profile of a child her age based on what she had posted. So it's just a good point. Even with your 17-year-old, yeah. Even with this 17-year-old, just tell him you're not always dealing with.
My daughter was like 12 or 13 at the time.
Yeah.
She had a boy from Kentucky.
Yep.
You know,
There are
texting
some
back and
horrendous
forth.
stories.
Yeah. And she was like saying naughty things in her texts, and what happened is he ended up screenshotting and sending to me and grandma and everybody on her list that had the same last name.
Yeah.
So, you know, she
Yeah,
was
it
saying
is.
naughty things in her text, like, well, bad words and stuff. And she said, I was like, oh, great, grandma knows,
Yeah,
Sandy
that's how they
knows.
started. They'll get just,
Yeah.
you know what,
So in some ways, it's
somewhat
lucky
innocent
it kind
picture.
of happened to her
Yeah.
first. And so I was like, yeah, you just can't. This is what
Yeah.
that means.
Yeah, they'll get this somewhat innocent picture and then they'll use that to blackmail
Yeah.
and say, if you don't send me a more revealing picture, then I'm gonna post this all over. And
Yeah.
then they can continue to do that process. So, okay, any other questions?
What is a breach?
A breach? Well, let's see, I think we have that in
Someone
here.
gets your email account, they get on your website, what is it?
They have to get the unencrypted information. Let's see, let's go back here. Or encrypted. Here we go. So breach of a security system is the unauthorized acquisition of computerized data that compromises their security, confidentiality, or integrity of personal information. So it has to contain this information down below, the social security number that's not encrypted or redacted, or their first and last name, first initial and last name, and one or more of the following: their driver's license number, state ID card, credit card number, or financial account number, in combination with the security code and password. So it would have to be one of those things to fit into the definition of a security breach.
How would you know that they got?
Well, that's your duty to take reasonable as a speaker, I don't know bad about how you find that out. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Here. And I will turn it over to Tom Greer with TRG Web Designs.
Thanks, Julie. All right, I frequently have clients who ask me, hackers aren't interested in my website, are they? And my answer always is yes, they're definitely interested in your website. At any one time, there's 18.5 million websites that are hacked and contain malware at any one time. And that stat was taken mid last year, and it's probably higher now because it goes up and up all the time. Average website gets 58 hacking attempts per day, and over half, almost, in fact, over 60% of all internet traffic is generated by bots. It's not a person sitting at the keyboard, it's a program that's running somewhere that's actually making all those simulated keystrokes. And hacker bots, they don't care about your website, what size it is, what type it is. They're pretty much just looking to take control of the website. So why would they want to do that? Well, everyone first thinks about a website being hacked and defaced, and information put up on the website that's not acknowledged by the outside the knowledge of the owner. Why would they do that? They want to embarrass you, maybe an ex-employee or a disgruntled customer who's got a grudge and has some technical skills, but it may simply be for bragging rights. Oftentimes, they'll come in and they want to leverage your IP address, the clean domain name or IP address that your business has, and of course they get to use your server for free. So lots of different reasons why they would want to hack it, but when they get in and take down your website for bragging rights usually, and there are good times to publish propaganda. So this is an example of a propaganda hack where they're promoting attention for Palestinian efforts. And this one went around a couple of years ago, especially during the election cycle. We saw a lot of types of hacks like this. But basically, it's in your face, you've been hacked. Most of the other ones are pretty silent. Spam generation. So they take over your website and they want to send spam. Why would they want to do that? Because they don't want the spam tracked back to them. So they take over your website, they're sending out lots of emails, and you're totally unaware. You don't know you've been hacked, but you may find out that, gee whiz, you're listed on Spamhouse's domain block list, which means your customers aren't getting your emails because your website is known as a spam generation source. So you've been blacklisted. They don't send you anything that says we aren't delivering your emails. They call it a domain block list because they're simply blocking it. They're not forwarding it through the internet. So when it gets somewhere partially along the way, it's going to say, wait a minute, this is on the UDL, and you're done. So you've got to again then get unhacked and cleaned up, and lots of cost to and edits to do that. And it's just a pain. That's an easy one. SEO spam hack. Use a lot of this covers a pretty wide area. This is very common, and what they do is they hack your website, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to improve the search engine rankings of pages that they're interested in. And we frequently see where they'll put in links to your website that point back to other sites that are selling Viagra or Cialis, or sometimes there are other illicit things that they're trying to promote as well. But you won't notice anything on your website. Totally invisible. The spam is only seen, that the hack links are only seen by bots. Google has bots that go through all the websites, the internet, maybe has them in other places as well. They're only visible to Google. So you end up with things like this, where last night I went in and refreshed this one. Viagra for YMCA. Well, there's YMCAs all around the United States that have links that say, here's one, I love this one. Policies, YMCA of Greater Omaha. It's got $1.60 and it's in stock. So that's an SEO hack. That's what that's about. I have had a number of our clients that I've taken on that had suffered that kind of hack, and it's embarrassing because, especially if there's pornography involved, pornographic links, because your customers will be Googling you and they'll find us. So if you want to know whether you've been hacked, just go into put in your business name and Viagra or Cialis or some other keywords like that, and if you show up, you're in trouble. Malicious redirects hack. You've suffered these. You're visiting a website and you're scrolling along and looking at things, and all of a sudden pops up and tells you you've won a $100 gift certificate, or you're the magic winner of today. Well, that's because they're trying to drive traffic to a specific website for some reason, usually for malicious reasons. And so you won't know by looking at your website this happens. Oftentimes they're very selective. It doesn't happen 100% of the time, it only happens randomly. So it's harder to diagnose and know whether the problem is your website or something else. You end up with upset customers though, and costs to disinfect your website. And, the other thing that'll happen is that Google will blacklist you. And when they blacklist you, basically you just disappear off from Google or Bing. So, there's an example of one of those. Your user, congratulations, you've been randomly selected. Don't click on that, please. Phishing. Ever get any phishing attack where it comes in and says, it's your credit card company and you need to sign in and change your password, or PayPal, or the other ones? Well, that's a phishing page. Is a hack. And why they want to hack your website is they don't want to track back to them. They're not using their website to host those phishing pages and capture the information. What they'll do is they'll set it up on your website. They'll redirect people to a page on your website. They'll capture the person's username and password, and then they'll ferry it off through the internet. And your website's going to get blacklisted by Google in a different way, or by your browsers as well. And so the phishing attack looks like this. Notice it doesn't say PayPal.com up in the, although it'd be very clever, make it look that way often. But basically they're saying, hey, come in here and just log in, give us your username and password. Oftentimes what they want to do also is to distribute malware. So they're looking to collect information oftentimes by installing malware on PCs of clients who come and visit your website. Of course, they don't want the website to be defaced so that you know you've been hacked. But when somebody visits your website, then they've got the virus tries to be installed on their website. They'll probably call you if they've got antivirus running and say, hey, you've got malware on your website, but for a long time you may not be aware of it. There's some liability if you've infected a bunch of people's websites with malware, sort of damage to your reputation. This time you get blacklisted and it looks like this. So people try to access your website, and basically anybody who sees that big red warning isn't going even close to you, so it's going to hurt your business as well. The ones that we saw that Julie was talking about, those big data breaches, this is that kind of attack. For most smaller businesses, we don't have a lot of personal information on our websites unless you're running like an e-commerce website, in which case you're going to have people's names and addresses and phone numbers and email addresses. Even then, you might also keep track on some websites of if somebody sends you a contact form, so they fill out the form, put in their personal information, and send it to you. Some websites log that. Not only do they send an email to the owner, they also log the fact that somebody sent that in case the email gets lost or misplaced. If you're doing that, then that personal information is available as well. So the whole objective here is to break in, they steal any personal information, and you've got potential liability, all the things that Julie talked about. You've got responsibility for addressing yourself. Not only potential liability, damage to your reputation because you're going to be in the news potentially, because you're obligated to report it. If you don't, there's some big fines. So biggest data breaches, last year we had Varian, 500 million people, personal information was exposed. The year before it was Equifax, 143 million, and so on. So on. The big one, of course, was Yahoo. Went on for years, 3 million people had their information compromised. Ransomware hack. You know about ransomware for PCs, right? Your PC gets taken over, all the data gets encrypted, you're supposed to pay some ransom to get your stuff back, and they do that to websites too. So the whole idea is, hey, your website's now been paid us some money, there's a timer usually, and you put in the key they send you after you pay by Bitcoin to unlock your website. So that's gaining in popularity as well. Didn't exist a couple of years ago. Now this one's the one that scares me the most. Somebody hacks your website, they don't want you to know it's been hacked because what they want to do is they want to put some illegal information on your website and share it with their friends. Things like child pornography, maybe pirated movies, maybe all kinds of different things that are bad. And of course you may not know, but if posting child porn is an example, you allow it to be on the news, and certainly the police are going to come knocking on your door. So, of course, you've got the cost to clean up that. Okay. How do hackers gain access to websites? It's really easy. Sign in. Username, password. How do they get those username and passwords? Well, there are a whole bunch of different ways. Number one is when we talked about those data breaches before, they get people's usernames, passwords, and email addresses. And if you've used the same username or password or a password type in your email address, because your username on a lot of websites is your email address. So once they've got that information, then they use that to try to log into various places. So if you've got a business and if they know it, then you're going to, they've got your personal stuff, they've got it from your LinkedIn account when they use the same password from that, or from if you're a Marriott hotel customer and their frequent flyer program, or whatever they call it, frequent guest. So whatever, if you've done that, just yesterday was with a client, he said, yeah, somebody hacked my email. I said, great. Did you get it cleaned up? Yeah, I did. Well, you use the same password on your website that you do for your email? Yeah, I did. And did you change your password on your email? Yes. Did you change your password on your website? No. You better do that right away. We also I had a case where I had a local client here in Lakeville, and they were hacked. Came to me, we cleaned up their website, got it all done. It was really nasty, messy. Didn't have backups, the whole 9 yards. We had to do it the hard way. And once we got it cleaned up, got infected again. In fact, I was on. I got notice that the website had some malicious activity going on. I got on, and it was like spy versus spy. It was real time. We were combating each other. He was putting on backdoors and all kinds of malware, and I was deleting it as fast as he was doing it until I finally took back control. When we were done, it went in and wanted to trace through how he had accessed it. The office manager's username and password. Where he got that information, I had no clue. But we deleted her account, created a new account for her, different username, new password, and again. So that's number one way that it's done. Number two way is they get into your software vulnerabilities. Every day, all day, hackers are going in and figuring out new ways to hack into different systems with using a new vulnerability. Software developers update their code on a frequent basis and publish updates. If you're not applying those updates to your website, you're going to be in trouble. You'll be vulnerable. So how do you protect your website? You control access with strong passwords. Make sure that you use those on your domain registry, on your hosting account, and on your website admin panel. You never send your credentials, username, password by email, because email is not secure. Managing your website access, make sure that you give people only the access rights they need. Maybe they don't need full administration rights. Number two is make sure that if somebody does leave, that you delete their access rights immediately, because disgruntled employees are a frequent problem. Disgruntled ex-employees are frequent, I should say. Offsite backups, what we call cloud backups. Basically, you want to make sure that if your website gets hacked, that you've got a offsite backup so that you can restore your website. First thing hackers do when they take control of websites is look to delete backups. So now your recovery efforts are a lot harder. The other reason for creating offsite backups has to do with hosting sites are data centers. Data centers sometimes have suffered real problems like fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, and destroy the data center. And if your backups are there, then you're kind of covered. But if you've got backups somewhere else, you can open a host account somewhere else and be live in just a few hours. You want to make sure they're encrypted though, because they're being stored somewhere, and somebody has access, some administrator somewhere could possibly read them, so you want to make sure they're encrypted. Cloud servers are Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, there's a whole bunch of them, iCloud. And keep generational copies, not just one copy. You want to make sure you've got several copies because you may have to go back to 3 or 4 days ago, or maybe a week ago, or maybe a month ago, because you didn't notice the app right away. Wrong way. There we go. And you want to install firewall, and you want to scan your website on a regular basis for any problems, any malware. So that's number one key that we recommend for clients. And make sure that software updates are being released, that you're applying those updates. So regardless of which platform you're using, whether you're using WordPress or one of the other CMSs, you want to make sure that you back up the website before you apply the updates, because every once in a while an update will break the website. Not often, but sometimes. You want to make sure you apply the updates to the platform, to the themes, and also to any plugins or extensions that you have. And afterwards, make sure your website functions, and then restore. So other steps, make sure that you only have, if you've got a hosting account, you don't have multiple websites, because once they hack one website, everything else in that hosting account is available for them to hack as well. Make sure you've got an SSL certificate and have it installed and configured for security, HTTPS. You'll get a green lock up on Google Chrome's doing away with the green lock. You'll get not secure if you're on Google Chrome or Firefox. It'll tell you that you're visiting this website is not secure if you don't have this. And what do you do if you get hacked? You call an expert, because it's hard. They leave multiple backdoors. First thing you do when they hack a website is they install multiple backdoors, so even if you delete all their code, they can still re-access your account quickly and reinfect your website. It's complex. If you're going to try to do it yourself, though, make sure you run backup before you start, because I've had clients who started disinfecting, deleted all their customers, or deleted really needed information and didn't have any backups to go to. So make sure you back up before you do anything. And if you've been blacklisted, make sure you're 100% clean before you ask to be removed from the blacklist. If not, you're going to embarrass yourself, and next time you request it, be slower to respond. So we can help you with secure your website. So if you are interested, we have a maintenance and monitoring service, and we do all the things we've recommended here, and that the website's functioning properly. And included in that service is technical support, and we also do content updates at no charge. So you want to change a picture, you want to update the wording, you have a blog post that you want done for you, when you send us the text and the pictures, we'll do that as part of the service. Next on our schedule is Jay Allen. Jay is the president and owner of Technical Advantage, and Jay's here to tell us all about what happens in your business computers and network.
Thanks, Tom. Like I said, my name is Jay Allen. I am the owner of Techno Advantage. We are an IT consulting company and a managed security service provider. So we have a lot of information to cover, so we'll jump right in there. Dark web and cybersecurity. Information on it. How to protect yourself from it. The dark web. What is it? Dark web basically is a subset of the internet. So you can't Google a dark web server because they don't want to be found. So you're supposed to, surface-wise, you have Google, Bing, ESPN, MSNBC, whatever you look for, those all want to be found. Those are all legit, above board. The dark web is a little darker. Most things that happen there, they go there because they can browse anonymously. And they don't want to be found because a lot of things that happen there are Honest and illegal. Things you can find on the dark web. You can find things such as guns, stolen cars, drugs, both prescription and illegal. And the main reason why we're here today is stolen information. So, what are you gonna do? How do you know if you're on the dark web? We do. We have a service that we can scan, check, so that way you're not crawling through the dark web trying to find everything yourself, see if you're there. We'll say for way we have a service that scans and looks for that. So, and if it finds your organization, you know, if your company, your website is abc.com, and if it finds anybody at abc.com, it will let us know. So that way, somebody's information been compromised is there, so we can go and change it. I got a little video to talk about that, just real quick, it won't take too long. So, here we go.
Most people think their passwords are safe, but really, most passwords are dangerously predictable. Why is that? Well, most people begin with a standard password, something easy to remember. Maybe they replace a letter with a symbol, or add a capital letter. They might replace a letter with a number, or if they're feeling really creative, they'll add punctuation. What they don't realize is that in a matter of seconds, a hacker can crack that code and put you and your entire business at risk. How does this happen? Let's find out. Meet Sophie. Sophie's a teacher. Wait, she's a lawyer. No, Sophie's a dentist. She runs a busy practice and prides herself on keeping her patient data and business records safe. Between patients, Sophie takes a break and checks her social media account. She uses a variation of her standard password, the one she remembers because it's her daughter's name. Sometimes she makes the A capital, but this time she's using a symbol instead. Clever, Sophie. She doesn't know it, but she just opened a portal to the dark web. A criminal hacks her social media account and secures her exact password. Her credentials are auctioned to the highest bidder, who reverse engineers every possible variation of her standard password, exposing her bank account, employee information, and patient information. All of which puts her business at risk. But this disaster can be avoided. Introducing Dark Web ID. We scour the deepest corners of the dark web, constantly monitoring for your compromised credentials. And we alert you before compromise turns into catastrophe. Secure your business and protect your assets today with Dark Web ID.
Alright, Dark Web ID is a service that we provide, we're a reseller for them. So we can look at your company information and see if you're there, and protect you from it. So one of the biggest questions we get when we talk about dark web and things like this is, you know, how does this happen? You know, like Tom talked about before, your websites, you know, some of the big websites could have been hacked. You know, we had another video with Amazon and some of the things that's been hacked, or LinkedIn. You know, information could be released there. But the biggest thing we see is malware. We see the increase in malware on all of our clients' computers. You know. Malware is like an all-encompassing term, meaning any software that's designed to do something malicious. So, the next question we get all the time is why? Why would somebody spend so much time trying to get into my computer or do everything else? You know, what do they have to gain from it? It's pretty simple. They get paid. Information on the dark web, you know, when there's a social security number, it's only $1. But if you can collect 1,000 of them in a day, it's not a bad day. Any information they get gets shows up on there, and the more names they can get, the more they can collect and resell. And they just resell this data over and over and over again. So one of the biggest attacks we've seen lately is there's been an increase in phishing attacks. Tom mentioned phishing before. Basically, if you don't know, phishing is basically when you get an email from somebody that looks like it's familiar, but it's not. So, you know, if you're a Bank of America client, all of a sudden you get an email from Bank of America saying, hey, there's something wrong with your account, click here to verify it. It's not real. And it's not just credit cards. I mean, it could be anything. I got one from DocuSign yesterday. It said, oh, sign here. But if you look at the address and things up here, you can see like this, it's not Bank of America. This is Comcast.net. So I know that Bank of America has a real domain. They would not be using a Comcast.net address. So then if you hover over a link that happens to be here, the list says Bank of America right here, but if you hover your mouse over it, that one comes up, that ain't Bank of America. So things to watch out for. Like I said, it's not just credit card stuff. Now, if you get a Bank of America credit card fraud, and we don't have a Bank of America credit card, you know it's not. But like I said, it could be anything. It could be like Office 365. We actually had a client that got hit with this, and they fell for it. The junior president of the company just got this and clicked on it. It makes sense to do. You're busy. You're like, what is this? Activated. Click on it, fill in your credentials, and then move forward. Well, what had happened is once he done that, an hour later, everybody else in the office all got a similar email from Junior saying, "Oh, our account's needs to be verified. Log in and do this." So half a dozen of them also signed in and did it and gave their credentials and everything else all over again. Except there was one person that got hit that was the accountant, accounting at abc.com, got an email saying, "Hey, we owe this client some money, wire them some money right away." Well, the way the letter was worded and everything else was really out of character for the way they talked. Because it's a small office, and their offices are across from each other, so they know how each other, they don't speak, and they don't wire money anyway, it's usually a check. So they're like, "Junior, did you send me this?" "No, that's not right." So then my phone rings. "Jay, oh my God, we've been hacked. Somebody's in our network, they're sending us all this bogus mail." So we went through and we started looking around, and ultimately we found out that, he fell for it. He gave away his credentials. So fortunately for them, this was just a phishing attack, just looking for the credentials for Office 365. It didn't add any additional malware to the systems. We went through and we changed everybody's password, and we scanned the systems. They were good, clean, no drama, so they were good to go. So they went and they've since upped their security purchases from us to help protect them from these things like that. So about the time that we was working with Junior here, we also was looking at some new antivirus software. So there's a next generation antivirus software out there. There's several companies that are accepting it. Antivirus has been around for years, and they finally updated things a little bit, and that they're smarter, a little bit more all-encompassing. They don't just do viruses. They're looking for rootkits and other malware things as well. And some of them are even smarter at the ransomware. They catch those before you get all screwed up. In our search for a new antivirus, the company we decided on, they showed us a video on how their product works and everything else. So I thought I would share that with everybody here. Now, I will tell you that this is geared towards text. It's a little higher level, so don't get caught up in all the details. I just kind of wanted to give you the gist of what happens when you get attacked and what does the next generation antivirus can actually do for you. So just to give you a heads up, the guy talks kind of fast and kind of mumbles. I mean, it's not real clear. So basically, they're putting an antivirus on the desktop, or they're putting a virus on their desktop. And then they try to run it, and it catches it. And he talks about how all the other antiviruses out there, they also caught this, and yes, we also think this is a virus. Then he changes the signature a little bit, so the name's a little bit different, so it's not, it's like walking with a fake ID. Like, oh, this is me, and that's different. And where most of the antiviruses don't catch it, because it's not, we're looking for this ID, and we walked in with that one. So that's the gist of what's going to happen. So it's only a couple minutes, quick. So here we go. Protect your business from all this kind of craziness. Well, security is a process. It's not a product. And when I say that, well, basically, if you wanted to secure your house, you're worried, I'm kind of, the neighborhood's kind of getting sketchy, and I'm worried, so you're probably going to put locks on your doors, maybe put a deadbolt on there. You might even get a security system, so like if somebody breaks in, you'll know about it. Or security cameras. Christmas time, one of the biggest gifts was a Ring doorbell thing, so you can see if somebody's taking off with all your packages. Your computer network at work is the same thing. You got to do many things. So when I say it's a process, there's many things you need to do, you know, as far as even training your employees and everything else. So the basic things that you need to make sure they're in place, you can start off with, you need to have a current version of Windows. If you are using Windows XP, you know, Microsoft retired it in 2014. So what does that mean? It means it's not getting more security patches. Why is that really a bad thing? Well, let's say there's a security patch for Windows 10 that says, hey, there is a vulnerability in Internet Explorer that if this is hit just the right way, it will negatively your computer. So this patch will fix that. Well, that's good. Windows 10 is good. But what they can do is that they will reverse engineer that and say, well, since this hole was in Windows 10, I wonder if it's in Windows XP also. So basically, it's a roadmap right back to looky here. And since XP is not being patched anymore, it just shows them here. This go right here to get it. So you need to update your software. If you're using XP, it's time to upgrade. And you also need to make sure you do all the updates for our Windows and our other software. You know, stop ignoring those. Ignore. I'll do it later. It's easy to do. I'm busy. I don't have time for this right now. You need to make sure they get done. That's how they're patching the holes. You need an antivirus. You know, I know it's old school, unless you get a next generation antivirus, but you still need one. So make sure you have something on there. A firewall. A firewall is kind of like we talked about. You got a deadbolt, a new lock on your front door. The firewall is what's going to be blocking your information coming into your business. So preferably if you got one with IDS, IPS, which is intrusion detection and intrusion prevention service subscription on there to kind of help keep things from breaking in. Backup. You know, backups are so important. Backups, you don't realize how important they are until you need them. And if you don't have them, it is not a good day. So preferably you have a local and an offsite copy. And another thing you get here is you can get some other software to help like for spam and malware, phishing attack software to help prevent you from getting you hit. You know, and maybe not so much you, but the rest of your staff. Maybe Betty in accounting is not the sharpest one on the computer and just absent-minded, you know, clicks yes on everything. This will help prevent her from seeing that because it will flag her. Hey, this looks malicious. Don't do it. So these are all, if you don't have any of these in place, or you don't have all these in place, I would make 2019 a year you try to get as many of these in place as possible. You know, let's say you have to do it all today, but you need to make sure to protect yourself, you need to have these in place. There is other things that are available now that wasn't always available before because it was cost prohibitive. It's very expensive. So just the big boys, the enterprise level people can get those, but it's come down in price quite a bit. Or it's affordable. Basically, I'm talking about a SIEM, and that is a security information and event management device. And what is this? It's like another acronym to learn. It's a device that sits in your network and it's going to monitor all the traffic. So it's going to see everything that comes in and out of your network. You can also set it up so that all your logs from your server gets dumped into this. So it's going to tell Active Directory what's, you know, who logged in, what time they logged in, what's happening. Anything that acts kind of flaky or weird is going to get notified and get flagged. This is going to see it. Your Office 365 subscription, switches, workstations. You know, they can monitor a list of things. So you're not just one or two. So many as you want. Now you may be thinking like, okay, that sounds really great, but do I really need this in my network? You know, I'm just a small shop. There's only 15 or 20 of us in here. So do I need that? You know, and you may not need it just for purposes right now, but there's a chance you might. One of the reasons you might need it is if you have to be compliant. There's several compliances out there, like we've all heard of HIPAA compliant, you know, from the medical fields and everything else. If they ask about it, you have to have a monitored system. This is the device they're talking about. You have to have on your network in order to be compliant. So, and it'll keep going further and further, more and more people, PCI, you take credit cards, you're going to ask for that. I've even heard cases where your insurance company will say that you have to have a monitored system or we won't cover your claim. It's kind of like if you own a jewelry store and you get broken into, but you don't have bars on your windows, well, you didn't do your due diligence to protect yourself. So we're not going to cover your claim. Eventually, I've heard stories where the insurance companies will say that, oh, you're not monitoring your network, so we're not going to cover it. So that could be another reason to be looking down the road that you need a SIM in place. These are some of the security partners that we work with. Like I said, security is a process, not a product. All these different things here we are partnered up with to help protect all our clients. Nobody has all these different things, and you don't need all of them. Some of them are redundant, different things, different backup solutions and things like that. But there's a whole number of things that you do need that we can help you with. So if you have any questions or anything else, let me know. Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. Questions?
No, just get here.
All right.
I don't even know what version of Windows you're using. I know it's not XP. That I know.
Okay, good. Well, if it's Windows 7, Windows 7 is going end of life like XP did next January. So you have a year.
Let's see, is it 10?
Windows 10. That's okay. That's correct. Just do your
I'm not
updates.
sure.
Okay.
Can I do it
And now we
now?
have Brian talking about cybersecurity insurance. Right?
Yes. Brian Paul with Morgan Insurance Group, and I want to soothe your mind just a little bit now. So, Tom and Jay have told you about all the things that could go wrong and how hackers can get into your system and how they can steal your information. I'm going to scare you just a little bit for just a few more minutes because you can do everything that they told you to do and you can still get hacked. In fact, some of these next examples are people who did most of the things that they said to do and they still got hacked. Example one, an employee steals a donor's credit card. This is for a nonprofit. Information from that nonprofit was then stolen. In an investigation, a lawsuit, fine, the insurance company ended up paying out $50,000. And that was for a policy that had cyber coverage on it. Data theft from a server. So there was a server with a hard drive maintained by a company. It was acquired by the, I'm not reading this very well, am I? When a server and hard drive maintained by a company acquired by an insured were stolen, since the data for nearly 45,000 individuals was compromised, the insured was provided $1 million to cover notification, public relations, and other incident-related services. So what you hear when you hear $1 million was provided, there was a lot more expense than that $1 million. That was the limit of the insurance. Payment card industry fines and penalties. A movie theater had its transaction processor hacked. Thieves collected card data over the course of a whole year before the Secret Service notified the owners. MasterCard issued fines and penalties in excess of $250,000 to the payment processor, who in turn contractually passed the obligation to the movie theater owners. The insurance aggregate limit was reached at $100,000. So $150,000 of that came out of the pocket of the movie theater. The company provides customers with hosting and connectivity solutions. The company receives a threat from an unknown third party that will cause an interruption of the company's network and unauthorized access to the data stored on the company's servers. This is the ransomware. After investigating the threat is determined the threat is credible, the company makes an extortion payment. $25,000 was the extortion payment. So how do all these data breaches occur? Malicious internet attacker, user error, exactly the thing that Jay talked about, where the son of the company owner went ahead and clicked on that link, sent the information. Lost or theft of a device. Disgruntled employee, third-party mistake, network intrusion. So we've heard on the news different times where people will have their computer with all kinds of customer information stolen from their car. That's a data breach. You've heard someone has their phone, they set it on a table, it gets stolen, information on it is taken, that's a data breach. You have a batch of files, paper files, sitting on the back seat of your car. Someone breaks in, they steal those paper files. That is a data breach. One of the things you have to be careful about is when you look at your insurance policy, one of the first things that they exclude is data breach. They take that out of the coverage. They say, we are not covering this. You have to buy back that coverage, and that is the cyber coverage. A lot of policies, if you're talking about a business owner policy or a package, will have cyber coverage included. But one of the things you want to make sure when you look at that